Good morning, good morning. Whew. Time for another water walk. Oh yeah. Okay. This is some nice sounds. Boom, 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 boom. The rhythms of nature, eh? Pretty beautiful. Okay, water, water. Whoosh. There's some sand. A bit silty this morning. Yeah, a little silt's alright. You have to eat a peck of dirt before you die. Apparently. Peck of dirt. Let's go up here. I think the water, it's usually by now the water would be running full on, but I guess maybe now it's just a slow spring forever and ever. Hopefully it never runs out, but you never know. You never know. What'll I do if the spring runs out? I don't know. Cross that bridge when we get to it. Can you even see me? I don't know if you can see me. got some rain coming today and tomorrow. Soon though, the rain will start to ease off, I think. Yeah, it might rain actually soon. Phew. A lot of mosquitoes. Whoosh! Get away from me. Die. Cilantro. Yeah, it's life-giving water, eh? Something to think about. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna pack up and see you in a second. Okay, life-giving water. Living water. Water with all kinds of bacteria and microbes and things in it. Water with a spirit to it. How about that? It's the non-mechanistic materialist perspective on things. I was writing about mechanistic materialism this morning on something. Not writing about it, just mentioned it. As, oh, wow. Okay, look at this. This here? This just swung down. So that just came down. Let's see, what are we at here? It's hanging on by those vines. Whew. Oh, it's just hanging on by those vines there. Well, it's tempting to kind of screw around with that sort of thing. But it's hanging on by one, you can tell by the tension. One, let's see what we got. Yeah, that one. Yeah, two, hanging on by two vines. So I don't want to cut them because the branch just fall right down on me. I'll just leave it for now, and maybe next week it'll have fallen down. Just don't want it to fall on me, okay? Okay, made it. There it is. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I always say, gotta keep an eye out for the falling branches and trees. Not that... Garma. Not that you can always necessarily do something about it when they come down, right? I remember in Banff, it was just heartbreaking. I just couldn't believe it. A tree came down on two 5-year-old girls. They're twins. Up high. Like, I know the trail that they were on. I've been on it. Up high, not at tree line, but not too far below either, you know. But big enough, right? Came down and killed them. Both girls were killed together. I still, to this day, I think about it every now and then. I just, just my heart breaks, you know. Jesus, I don't know, stuff like that, eh? Life. Well, you know, that's also the kind of thing that perhaps helps us to understand. Boy, cherish it, eh? Who's I listening to today? Oh, it's just someone that Michaela Peterson's talking to about breathing. And he's actually talking about similar things as Mike Mew does, who does the mewing thing. He's an orthodontist, I guess, teeth, you know, alignment stuff. And he's saying a lot of the modern problems with braces and misaligned teeth actually has to do with what we chew when we're young, our industrialized living, away from nature, all that stuff. And I certainly believe all that. Yep. That's my MO. Is that it? MO. Modus operandi. Yeah. Anyway, great talk, but I was really talking about, you can see how a lot of the diseases and stuff that started to happened, you know, when we became more removed from nature, and, you know, basically a life that's more surrounded with nature and the physical aspects of it, and the food, I guess, and the water, probably. One thing I heard that was really interesting. Now, who was this talking? Anyway, we think of the Victorian era as being, like, say, in England. We'll say England, okay, because that's Victoria. Anyway, of them being, like, really unhealthy and... Oh, another little landslide. Whew. A lot of stuff changed in this since last week. Whew. We had a few pretty big rains, that's why. And they were saying, you know, about the really terrible health and bad food and all that stuff. And he was saying, you know, it's not really the Victorian era. It's like into the late 1800s, early 1900s, when industrialization really became big. Of course, things had been industrial before that, right? When coal, powered trains and all that stuff. But at some point it really changed and things really shifted. Anyway, yeah. It's just, I think my point is, it's just the kind of preconceptions we have of different eras and stuff, you know. People love to say, not people, but some people, so we'll say, not everyone, love to say like, oh yeah, you know, in the hunter-gatherer times, everyone died when they're 32. Because that's statistically, everyone died at 32. That's ridiculous. It's not what happened at all. That's just statistics, right? The average age of death was 32 because a lot of people died in childhood. You know, I'm sure there's plenty of. Anyway, I'm sure lots of people lived into their 60s and 70s in the good old hunter-gatherer days, and early agriculture too. Although I've heard that when agriculture started to take serious root, that people became smaller, their health became less robust, and all that stuff, you know, which does make sense to me. Anyway, but yeah, I think the thing in the hunter-gatherer days is that it was probably physically way more risky than sort of your modern industrial life of astonishing comfort and safety, right? You know. So probably people died more often from things like injuries and wounds from hunting and all kinds of things than from like cancer and things, you know. I'm sure that cancers existed, you know, at some level, but I do think that those that say, oh, it was fairly rare back then, I certainly believe all that. I do. Wow, the bush is so thick here. I keep forgetting to bring my little machete thing. Oh, it's funny because going up, it's not really. You don't really worry about the footing so much when you're going up. Is my thing, right? Anyway, blah 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 blah. Just blabbing today. It's because I fell asleep. Whoa, Jesus! Look at my legs. Not a good balanced situation, but I saved myself. See, what would I have hit going down here? Yeah. Well, I might have been caught by this bush. But then I'd be like a turtle on my back going, oh God, how am I going to get out of this? I'd have to slip out of the harness of my pack. I did that once when I was doing some solo snowshoeing with a big pack rather than a toboggan, right? If you ever go snowshoeing in heavy snow, toboggan's a better way to go. But anyway, I had a big pack. I was quite young. I hadn't learned all the tricks at that point. Not that I ever learned all the tricks. And it was so deep and I just fell backwards. I was just like, and it was like the snow was probably 6 feet deep. And you can't push down to get yourself up, right? So it was just hilarious. Well, I figured it out. Made it through. I was pretty young. I don't think that was a very long trip, but it was the beginning of many, many, many. Boy, oh boy. Hard to see, wet, slippery. Consider every step you take. Consider every step you take. Precautionary principle. Couple things. Precautionary principle. Occam's razor. I love that one, eh? That's a great one. Occam's razor. More or less like, probably all things considered, the simplest answer is probably the answer. You know. And the other one is Chesterton's fence, which I've known the term for quite a while, but it's fairly recently that I've put some thought to it. And the whole idea of Chesterton's fence is that. Oh, yeah. Sorry, this is a little bit. I'll show you. It's a little bit step. Careful where your foot is, the angle. Bum bum. Can you see that? Wet log, don't step on the log. It's gonna be slippery. Chunk, 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 tum, 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 tum. And here, brace myself on this tank. Step on this rock. Got it all worked out. Okay. Chesterton's fence. The idea being, before you take down a fence, try to figure out why the fence is there in the first place. Do you know what I mean? It's a great one, actually. You know, because, and the fence being a metaphor as well, I suppose, a very practical thing as well. The point being that the reason there might be a structural situation might be for a good reason. At least at one point it might have been. That could have changed, but it's good to figure out why it's there in the first place before you rip the damn thing down. It's a great one, actually. Anyway, whatever. See, I'm not even ranting about COVID this time. Ah, I said the words. Damn, I'm gonna be demonetized now. Yeah, here I'm gonna. Maybe I'll just stay on, see if I can do the whole way through. I'll show you this part coming up. Make sure this phone's on tight because it's really wet coming up. That'd be unfortunate to have this thing drop. But it's really a lot of water flow, except from my spring. The whole trail is like a little river now. You have to be a bit careful when it's running free like that, like over the trail, because it's just dirt, right? You have to be really suss out where the erosion's happening. Step in some good places. Whoosh. Yeah, I fell asleep late and woke up really early, so I'm a little dozy today. It's okay, I'll catch up tonight, but normally in this state I wouldn't go carrying water all over the mountain. Okay, here we go. Whoosh. See this? You can hear it. There's water flowing all the way around here, all over here. You see that? Oops. And there's vines underfoot. Gotta be careful, I'll trip you up. Okay. Well. Yeah, I made it. Oi. Yeah. I'm kind of. Ooh, something just jumped out in front of me. It was like maybe a kind of lizard of some kind. That's what it looked like. Not very big. Well, I'm still doing my Facebook posts on, mostly posting about ivermectin, I guess, and related things. And that's my thing, I guess. I'm just countering all the foolish articles, I guess. Not telling you to take it. Just think it's pretty good. UP, what's going on in UP, Uttar Pradesh is just like, whoa, and Goa and Delhi and like Uttarakhand, I guess, and other places. Like, holy crap. Like, Uttar Pradesh, one day last week was 8 cases. I mean, you know, we're talking cases and counting, and say what you will about that, but still, all things being relative, 8 cases in a population of 220 million people. Jeez. That's basically statistically non-existent, I guess. But anyway, yeah. And then the mandate thing is worrying, but I kind of feel like I keep saying, I'm not gonna bother with this anymore. I enjoy life a lot, don't get me wrong, but I do online, I do get into this thing, right? It's because I see it as a real threat. Like a real threat for totalitarian totalitarian thing springing up. I mean, to me, it's like everywhere I look, I can see it, right? Whether it goes to that really extreme kind of sort of Stalinist, Nazi, whatever thing you want to say, right? It's hard to say at this point, but it could easily go there, you know. Pretty interesting that I've been thinking about this a long time and mentioned that this, like a lot of the people that were super woke are also the ones like lockdown, no one, don't give the unvaccinated health care. You know what I mean? You've seen that, right? It's like, whoa, I thought you were all real compassionate types, but it never was about compassion, this woke thing, I think. It's all about me, narcissists. Anyway, whatever. But part of me, it does sort of feel like, okay, at this stage we gotta sort of let this roll through as it will, right? That's my thinking. And I'll try to follow that path and just observe and see what happens. Hopefully we'll be surprised in a nice way. Anyway, I'm gonna go. À la prochaine. Oh, if you made it this far, thanks a lot. These are always way too long. But I'm doing a fundraiser for the Kendo Mei Lai, which is a kendo practice I want to start down at Tong Tong Lodge down the mountain a little ways. Hopefully I can get it going. I really hope I can. I've been wanting to do this for years, and I'm doing a push for it. I have one person that wants to come regularly. That's a start. I was prepared to do like 2 months just myself, just to get it going. Anyway, I'll put a link on the YouTube description and on the Facebook thing. Hope everyone's doing okay. I don't know. Yeah. Ciao, à la prochaine, and see you on the flip side. Ciao.